Hi there, my name's Daniel, and I'm going to be talking about middle childhood, so specifically resiliency. So, Google Definitions defines resilience to be the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, so portraying toughness basically. So, for example, it would be a child being able to recover from a difficult situation that they encountered, so a traumatic event that they witnessed or were affected by in some way. So yeah, and then middle childhood can best be defined as beginning at around the age of 7 or 8 until approximately the beginning of teenagehood or preteen age, so 12, 11, 12 about. So the article that I chose to use for this assignment and use as my source was published on the Child Study Center at the New York Medical Center, and it's located in Langone. The article is called Building Resilience in Children in the Face of Fear and Tragedy, and it's written by Richard Gallagher, who has a PhD, and also Ayanna Chase. The article focuses mainly on one tragic event that happened in 2001, and it happened in New York City. It's best known as 9/11, so the terrorist attack that happened. And the authors do this to show it, to demonstrate kind of as a template to show how resiliency can be developed in children who witness a traumatic event such as this one. So in the US, teachers, doctors, and parents, and just generally adults, are told to keep an eye out for signs of increased distress in children who have seen or been affected by an attack or traumatic event, horrific. They've seen something really bad that's just not good, or they're abnormally interested in the war against terrorism. So they're just obsessed with it, kind of. So based on knowledge gained after the Oklahoma City bombing occurred, as well as different war-stricken countries, just children coming from there, and places where terrorist attacks have occurred, psychologists now know that some of the symptoms that someone affected will feel when a child affected will feel when these bad things happen are increased paranoia, staying away from any fearful situation that occurs. So if there's any situation that feels sketchy in any way, they'll be extremely fearful of going towards it, and they'll want to stay as far back as possible. They may get headaches, and also they may get basic illnesses, so the flu, or just not feeling well in general, and just not feeling up to the weather yet. So despite all of this research stating that children who witness trauma will potentially suffer from mental health problems, lots of research also indicates positive outcomes from horrific events. So, for instance, the article talks about studies that have carefully examined the ability to recover or as we better know it, the resilience that they portray in the situation. In children coming from war-stricken countries such as Cambodia and Kosovo, two countries that they specifically name, which are at war, and lots of children come out and show a ton of resilience and just very good outcomes. They show a lot of being able to recover very well from the really bad situation that they were just in. So Richard and Ayanna, the two authors of the book, the article, talk about certain ways for adults to help children develop resilience. So I'm going to talk about the three that I felt were the most important paragraphs, in my opinion, that they talked about. So the first that I'm going to talk about is having the child maintain a really close relationship with an adult. So the writers then they state in the paragraph that children who have someone who frequently spends time with them is concerned about their welfare and provides them with guidance, discipline, and information will do much better than children without such a relationship. So yeah, that basically just, I feel that children who have an adult or a role model in their life will be able to show a lot more resilience and be able to stay a lot tougher when these bad things do happen. So the second paragraph I will focus on is where the authors talk about helping children understand the real statistical probability that a tragedy will happen, or there is danger that is imminent in their life. So adults need to help their children realize that tragic events such as natural disasters and like terrorist attacks and different things, they don't happen very often. So that they shouldn't worry too much about it happening in their personal life. But they do also however, need to understand that there is still a small possibility that something could happen. So they always need to be aware that something could happen someday, and they need to be ready to deal with that situation and not. They need to be ready to deal with it in a healthy way. So the final point that I'm going to discuss is the need for adults to take care of themselves on top of their kids. So adults need to focus on their own mental health and physical health, because if they don't do this, they will not be ready to support and guide another human being. They won't be ready to if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of someone else at the same time, right? So adults need to be safe, well rested, as calm as possible, and as healthy as possible, so that they have the rest, support, and assistance, and some energy for the youth and children in middle childhood to be able to help them develop their own resilience in situations. So in summary of this subject, we have now learned that possessing resilience in moments of trauma or great difficulty is a very good thing in society, and therefore all adults who are around children frequently need to put more effort into developing this in their youth and in their children. Thank you.